Deuteronomy 3 is where I'm going to highlight a few things. Verse 23. This is Moses talking, okay? This is Moses. Then I pleaded with Adonai. Those are 5 words. You know, I could probably spend hours on those 5 words. I really could. Okay, I really could. I don't know how many of you have ever pleaded with God. Okay, it doesn't come from a place where I want. No. It comes from a place where you have already fully surrendered. You've probably already spent a lot of time in fasting. Okay, this is not just a, I don't get it, God, how come? That's not what this is. This is a time where you are all in, you're in his presence. You have put the time and the effort in. Okay, it's not day 1 of your prayer. This is concentrated effort. This is a time. Okay? You're in his presence. And you're pleading. Because you're asking for something. Something good. And he says no. And then if you read a little bit later, don't ask me again. I've had that. And it's heartbreaking. Because it's something good. In Moses' case, if God had relented, if God had allowed him to enter into the promised land, well, he wouldn't got to do it. All I have to do is say I'm sorry and ask for forgiveness, and then I get what I want anyway. Anybody ever see Ariel and the Little Mermaid? There's nothing but rebellion. I'm sorry, rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. It's God. God is a God of justice and mercy. Moses is talked about in the New Testament as the great prophet, the great servant of God. And yet he couldn't enter in the promised land. He walked in obedience and led them for how many years? Spoke with him face to face and could not enter in. See, the first time he struck the rock, Yeshua was struck one time. He only dies one time. The next time God tells him, speak to the rock. And Moses is so upset because of you all. Trying to make it right because of the people. Okay? You got to understand, it's your fault. What I'm saying is, other people can greatly influence us. And when we get tired, okay? You got to pray for me. I get tired. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. I do. I get tired. But Moses, more than once, says, on account of you, I couldn't enter in. They pushed and exasperated. Have you ever had somebody push you like that? I have. I had somebody that would push so far, waiting for me to fall into a hole. That's on them. It is on them. But you gave it. It's still like they're held accountable. They laid a snare unprovoked. Read the Proverbs and the Psalms. They laid a trap unprovoked. They hated me unprovoked. They set out to destroy unprovoked. See, we got to see things a little bit differently. Ultimately, was it his doing? Yeah, that's why he can't enter in. And as an example to the people, no, you can't do something that I said specifically do this, and you specifically did that. I understand you've repented. You haven't lost your salvation. You haven't lost your relationship with me, but you're not going to get this. Had he done that, we would be justified in our cheap grace. See, the church believes in cheap. Christians believe in cheap grace. Okay? Cheap grace. All right? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But at least he got to see.
He did get to see. God had him go up on the mountain. And you would think that it's really hard, but it's true. From where he was, that mountain on the east side of the Jordan River, he could see not only Jerusalem, he could see the Mediterranean. He could see up to the Sea of Galilee. He could see Israel. He also says Lebanon. Okay? Okay. That's just one part. I could spend a lot of time there, but I'm not going to. So I'm going to continue on. And then he says to him, chapter 4, verse 1, he says, now listen, Israel, to the laws and rulings. Because before he goes, let me tell you again. Let me go over this with you. I want you to hear, because it was given to your parents who have now died in the wilderness. So let me give it to you. Let me tell you. Okay, that's what he's doing. Verse 5, look, I have taught you laws and rulings, just as Adonai, my God, ordered me, so that you can behave accordingly in the land where you're going to take possession of. Therefore, observe them, follow them, for then all the peoples will see you as having wisdom and understanding. Wow. Did you know you could get wisdom by following God's laws? Well, I guess since he's the author of wisdom and he knew what he was doing, that makes sense. Okay. When they hear all of these laws, they will say, this great nation is surely a wise and understanding people. For what great nation is there that has God as close to them as Yahweh, our God, is whenever we call him? What great nation is there that has laws and rulings as just as this entire Torah, which I'm setting before you today? Only be careful and watch yourselves diligently, right? He goes on and he says, when you approached, you heard a voice, but you did not see a figure. Right? Remember? They heard a voice. They didn't see a figure. Okay. Therefore, watch out for yourselves. Watch out for yourselves, since you did not see a shape of any kind on the day Adonai spoke to you in Horeb from the fire. Do not become corrupt and make yourselves a carved image, having the shape of any figure, not a representation of a human being, male or female. He's reiterating what? The 10 words. Yeah, the 10 words, okay? For the same reason, do not look up at the sky, at the sun, the moon, the stars, or everything in the sky and be drawn away to worship or serve them. See, the constellations were seen as gods. Elohim, little e, little g. No, you, Adonai has taken, you, Yahweh, has taken for himself. Is that right? He brought you out of the smelting furnace, out of Egypt, to be a people. Who has ever taken a nation out of the bowels of a nation, is what he says. That's what they did, right? Right out of the heart. When you have children and grandchildren, and you've lived a long time in the land, and you've become corrupt, and you make a carved image, a representation, and you provoke God, I call on the sky and heaven as a witness that you'll be removed from the land. Adonai will scatter you. But in your distress, when all these things have come to you, in the Acharet HaYamin, what is that? In the last days, you will return to Adonai your God and listen to what he says. We are there. How long has Israel been in their land? 75 years?
67 was when they took.
That's Jerusalem. That's Jerusalem. But he says land here.
1948.
1948. Okay? That's a
76 years.
that's a while. That's a generation. That's a generation. Okay? For Adonai your God is a merciful God. He will not fail you, destroy you, or forget the covenant with your ancestors that he swore to them. It's real and it's alive. How many thousands of years was this written before? And they went and they were dispersed, and now they're back in the land. They were not in their land for over 2,000 years, or about 2,000 years. And now they're back in their land. Just like Moshe, the prophet said.
Weren't there a remnant though always?
Yes,
in the land?
yes.
Okay.
He means as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always a remnant. There's always a few left behind. There's always those of us renegades that, go. Yeah, there's always been a Jewish presence in Israel, just not the nation as a whole. And likewise, when they went to Babylon, not all of them came back. There are accounts that not all left Egypt.
I know.
Okay, let me go on and say, has God ever tried to go and take for himself a nation from the very bowels of another nation? I think I told you that. By means of ordeals, signs, wonders, a war, mighty hand, an outstretched arm, great terrors. Have you read Revelation? Because see, he's going to take us out of the bowels of all of earth. Just like it happened in Egypt, it's going to happen the same at the end of Revelation. That's why I say we're not out of here pre-trib. They walked through all of those ordeals, those signs, those wonders, those miracles, those judgments. But God separated them and they were not touched. Likewise, okay? Got to know the past to understand. Know today and establish it in your heart that Adonai is, Yahweh is God in heaven, above and on earth below. There is no other. That's part of the daily readings on Shabbat. If you actually do a full liturgy out of a Siddur, that's part of the Sabbath Siddur readings. Okay, it's part of the liturgy, right out of here. All right? Therefore, you are to keep his laws and mitzvah, which I am giving you today, so that it will go well with you and your children after you. Teach them diligently to your children, right? And then what does he do? He goes through and he says the laws. What's the very first one? I am Yahweh your God. I am God. That's number one. See, if you don't recognize him as God, the rest don't matter. Okay? I am God. You are to have no other gods before me. That's two. Bet. Okay, Gimel. Third one. You are not to misuse the name of God. Therefore, if I can misuse it, that means I should probably be able to use it. Therefore, I say Yahweh. Am I pronouncing his name correctly? I don't know. It wasn't there. I've never heard it. That's what I believe. That's the sounds I see from what I've learned of the Hebrew. That's what I say. Okay. Someone else. Al's sister. He calls me Cherry. She can't say. Don't even try. Don't try to correct her. I know what she means, and it's okay. She did it. That okay? She's still calling me by my name. Dalit, observe the day of Shabbat. That's what we're doing today, right? Set it apart as holy. All right. Hey. Honor your father and mother. That's a letter. Hey, I'm telling you, that's a letter. Hey. Hey. Honor your father and your mother. Those in authority over, those who have, right? Okay. Could that extend to nanas and aunts and uncles? Boy, you're in trouble.
I'm trying to be careful with what I say right now.
Okay, there is a way to honor.
Yes.
Okay, there is a way to honor and respectfully disagree. I'm living proof of that. Okay? So yes, you can have a parent, maybe definitely a biological parent, but you can have a non-biological parent, one who's raising you as a parent, who is not biblically sound. You still respect. It's like the office of presidency. How many years did I respect the office and not the man in it? Okay? There's still a certain respect and honor where it's due. But if you're a liar, I'm not going to believe you. Yeah.
I would say God gave them as your parents, so you have to respect their position, and you will learn lessons.
I learned a lot. I had one parent that I praise God for. Well, okay, no, that's not true.
You were super
I do praise for both because I did learn. You have to get to the place, you know, you're healed when you can thank Him for what you've gone through, even if it was hell. You can still learn. Okay, you can still learn. But you can give respect where respect is due. That doesn't mean I trust. That doesn't mean, obviously, one of mine was an inveterate liar. I don't believe a darn thing that comes out of her mouth. Not one word. Okay? It's sad because her tells, she has tells for when she's telling the truth. Usually people have tells when they're telling lies. That's how uncommon the truth is. Just saying. Okay? So, but you can still show respect and honor. And if as an adult the boundaries are not respected biblically, you do not put yourself under abuse. Okay? Did I do that okay? Are our elders in agreement here? Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, all
You're
right.
allowed to walk away from an argument.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, better yet.
By the
Spit
swallow of the blood.
out the blood.
Your tongue and swallow the blood.
And the word says not to be drawn into foolish arguments, so
Okay. I learned to do that as a kid. All right. Then it goes on. Do not murder. Do not commit adultery. Do not steal. Do not. Okay, so the first 4 are relational this way, and the next are relational this way. And I don't want to spend a lot of time there because that's not where I was going. But if you have this parashah is packed. Okay, I mean packed. So I want to just finish with a couple verses in 6. Now this is the mitzvah, the teachings, the laws, the rulings, which Adonai your God ordered me to teach you, for you to obey in the land you are crossing over to possess, so that you will fear Adonai your God and observe all his regulations, his mitzvah that I am giving you. See, Moses disobeyed one thing. So you don't think that made a bigger teaching statement to this body of people? It did. It did. I'm giving you, you are to teach them to your who? Your child and your grandchild, as long as you live, so that you will have long life. Listen, Shema. That's what it means. Matter of fact, you go to verse 4 and that's what it says. Shema Israel Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel. This is where it comes from. This is where the Shema comes from. Well, in Numbers too. Right? And you are to love. Right? This is what we do. And it goes on and it says, teach them carefully to your children. You're to talk about them. And this is where our Shema that we do every week comes from. Right here. Okay? Okay. So that's all that I want to do. It's packed. I'm telling you, it's packed. There's a lot more in here. Okay, actually there is one. There's just one. Sorry, there's one. Okay, so one of the teachings, one of the laws, one of the commandments says, "Thou shalt not kill." That's not what it says. I don't care. That's not what it says. It says, "Thou shalt not murder." Because if you go to the very next chapter, he says, you go in, you annihilate them, wipe them out, and go kill them. Why? Because they're evil, they're spirits, and there's no redeeming quality there. Wipe them out or they're going to destroy you. I thought you just said not to kill. No, I said don't murder. There is a difference. Okay? A big difference. Somebody comes walking through the door. Honey, I hope you know Jesus because you're going to see him real fast. Okay? Oh, is that murder?
It's self-defense.
That's not murder. But you premeditated it. No, there's a door there. Don't come in, fool. it's intent. It's intent on both their intent for entering. If they're coming in maliciously, all bets are off. You're coming in because you need something, you need help. Okay, that's different. And I'm smart enough to know the difference. Okay? Does that make sense? So we got to interpret the word correctly. It does not, because people go, oh, the word, well, the word is full of, it says one thing and then it says the exact opposite. No, it doesn't. Okay? Read it in context. It does not.